Hey everybody. Oh, you meowed for everybody. Out here with Zozo. Zozo, don't go nowhere, sweetie. Out here with Zoey and Midnight. Snoopy's not here yet, but we're just kind of hanging out. The weather's not too bad. It's probably, I don't know, around 50 or 52 right now. Feels warmer. It must obviously be the humidity. Um, but yeah, just out here hanging out, and just thought I'd tell you a little bit about Zoey, give you Zoe's story, and talk to you about a concern that I've got with Zozo. Uh, but yeah, Zoey, I moved in here to this house in April of 23, and actually was, I just moved to Michigan. And shortly after I moved in here, Zoey showed up. She was my introduction to community cats. Didn't even know what a community cat was. As far as I was concerned, she was just, a stray cat. And so I had started feeding her, and then through my walks around the neighborhood, I noticed a woman that had a few cats in her, backyard. And so I was like, I worked up the courage after a while and walked over and knocked on her door and was like, hey, do you need help with these cats? And she's like, oh, yes. She was, had felt overwhelmed, but, I was happy to find out that Zoey had already been fixed. She'd already gone through the TNR program. She'd already been trapped because she's a little Miss Feral. She's a good girl, though. Aren't you, sweetie? Where you going? Don't hide from the people, girl. Don't hide from the people. But yeah, so she had already been fixed, which was good to hear. But the neighbor did have a few that still needed to be fixed, and actually had some kittens, some older kittens. And that's how I ended up with four feral 4 and 5 month old sets of siblings in my house. And but I can go over that in a different video. But anyway, that's how I ended up with them, was from her. But we did get everybody fixed except for one male orange kitty. We never did catch him, and unfortunately, last fall, he stopped coming around her house. So, we are hoping, good thoughts, for that kitty, and that he is okay. But all the rest of the ones over at her house have been fixed. So that's really good. So after conversating with my friend, she's like, what do you got in your hand? Stop it. After talking with my friend, I was telling her about Zoey, and she was like, oh, she was like, and of course I didn't know her name was Zoey at the time. I don't even think I had a name for her. And so I was telling her about her, and then, I got a couple of pictures of her, and I showed her the picture. She's like, oh my gosh, that's Zoey. And I was like, what? I mean, what are the odds, that I end up with one of her cats? So, that was pretty crazy. So, but Zoey, this is something that just happened today. Zoey has a sister named Cleo. And she also had other family members that unfortunately disappeared as well, the same time that Zoey, left. But anyway, so Cleo, my friend got a phone call today from the vet office, and it's actually, funny enough, the vet that I take my animals to. And they were like, hey, we've got Cleo. She is here. And, do you want her back? And, come to find out, this woman had taken Cleo in and actually, socialized her. Cleo's living in the house. She's a house cat now, living the life, right? And so my friend, of course, was like, no, if she's happy, she can certainly stay where she's at. My friend, not only the cats that she has outside, which I think is about 5, that she takes care of. And then she's got, I think, I don't know, 7 or 8 that are inside. And so she's like, I can't be taking any more cats in. So yeah, she was super happy to hear about that. So she texted me right away and said, oh my gosh, and I was like, man, that's amazing news. I mean, that's the best news ever, but can you imagine though, you've fallen in love with a cat, you've, got it used to you, and it's, living in your house, and you know, and nobody's ever scanned Cleo for a microchip before, but for some reason she got scanned today. And but can you imagine the woman, you know, that has Cleo? Her heart probably dropped. It was like, oh my gosh, she belongs to somebody else. They're gonna want her back, you know. And so that would be super sad. But you know, it all worked out. It was, you know, couldn't have been any better. But yeah, so now Zoey disappeared. She's probably under the car. And but yeah, she's probably under the car. But yeah, I was for the past year on and off, Zoey has been squinting with her left eye, you know, and she'll hold it closed. And it's definitely something that I've been concerned about, you know, but it's come and gone. And, you know, my biggest concern is that, you know, I can probably catch her because, you know, she loves rubbing on my leg. And, you know, so I can probably catch her and get her into a carrier and, you know, yeah, I'll probably get scratched up. I don't know. You know, I don't think she's going to be very happy. You know, but I can probably get her into a carrier. But, you know, if I get her to the vet and then they're like, oh, you're going to have to give her eye drops or, you know, I don't know what's wrong with her eye, you know, but I feel bad, you know. I don't know if she's in pain. You know, I'm obviously some sort of... Daisy, don't drink that, sweetie. That's what I put the cat bowl in to keep the ants out of the wet food at night. But anyway, yeah, that was a distraction. You're a distraction, Daisy. But yeah, I mean, you know, depending on what the vet says, it's like, what am I going to do? I can't give this cat, you know, eye drops. You know, how am I going to do that? You know, I mean, I could probably, yeah, get her inside the house, and I've got like a metal cat condo thing that I had. Forget. Oh yeah, I got it for Sammy, matter of fact, when I brought Sammy into the house. Sammy stayed in that for a while to get him acclimated, you know, to the indoors, or her acclimated to the indoors, and you know, to get used to my cats. And well, I was hoping that, you know, the feral cats would like Sammy too, and that didn't work out. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I bought it for. But yeah, I could bring her inside, you know, and keep her down in the basement. You know, she's got fleas. I've already got fleas in the house, which is, you know, I think that, you know, we're actually getting rid of them. I really do. I spent a fortune on on Revolution for 6 cats, and then NextGuard for 2 dogs, and excuse me. So I've spent a fortune on that, and so I think that we're, you know, hopefully coming to the end with the fleas inside the home. So no, of course I don't want to bring another cat inside the house that has fleas. But it's like, you know, what do I do? I mean, I've got the basement. It's not finished. I mean, it's nice enough, you know, to where she could be in the cat condo in the basement, you know. But I don't know, guys. I really don't know what to do. And, you know, I don't want her to be, you know, uncomfortable, you know, with whatever's going on with her eye. I don't know. I mean, give me your thoughts on the subject, and maybe some of you have gone through what I'm going through, you know, and gosh, I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I want to make sure that, you know, that she's okay, you know, that there's nothing serious, and I can't see her at all. It's too dark under there. I don't, you know, I don't want there to be anything serious wrong with her, you know, because that certainly, I mean, that could, you know, happen, you know, with cats and their eyes. Huh, Daisy? And so, you know, we want to do what we can for her. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have to come out of pocket, or I should say out of credit card, because I certainly don't have the funds. You know, I don't have the funds to, you know, do things for my own animals, you know, above, you know, a regular visit, you know, a regular appointment. Anything above that is out of my price range. So, but I don't know, you know, it's a hard situation to be in, you know, but I certainly don't want to make excuses for not getting her care. You know, if I have to throw it onto a credit card, well, that's what I'll do. It's possible the clinic will take a look at her, the clinic where she got fixed. But you know, if it's anything serious, then they're not gonna be able to do anything. And my vet is super expensive. I'm taking Sammy to a different vet, actually the vet where my friend takes her cats, and they are a lot cheaper. And so it's gonna cost me a quarter of what it would be to get her dental work done. It's gonna cost me a quarter of what it would with my normal vet. My normal vet, where it was between $2,000 to $3,000. And you know, that's because I guess they totally put him to sleep and keep him under, and I don't know. I mean, oh geez, Daisy, thanks. This other vet that my friend goes to, she's more like Dr. Pole kind of vet. You know what I'm saying? Old school. You know, you don't need to have all that fancy equipment just to clean you know, a dog or a cat's teeth, right? Or to pull out a tooth. You know, you just got to keep them under long enough to get it done, right? You know, that's my kind of vet, you know. But no, my regular vet, you know, they got to be all fancy, you know, and do it the extremely expensive way, you know, and charge people a fortune. And that's why people, you know, don't get the proper care for their animals, because they can't afford it. You know, I mean, I'm grateful that I have good credit, you know, and that I have, you know, credit cards that I can use. And I've been smart enough, you know, to get some with 0 interest, you know, that lasts for a little bit. But dude, the 0 interest runs out, and then you're, you know, excuse my language, but you're screwed. Unless you flip that balance over into another 0% credit card. So, but yeah, I'm doing my best. But yeah, all right guys, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed your day. What is it? Today's Tuesday. I'll put this video out on Wednesday morning, and hopefully get some views. My regular length videos don't get a whole lot of views, and I apologize if any of you watched my live, or even after it wasn't live, you know, once the video actually got uploaded after I did the live. You know, I didn't video it correctly, and you know, I'm learning as we go, or as I go. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.